Hi there. I'm going to share with you how I went from feeling foolish, embarrassed, infuriated, hurt, and sad all at the same time to feeling in control and optimistic. Now, since this is Mental Health Awareness Week and May is actually Mental Health Awareness Month, I have decided to talk to you about how a coach triggered anxiety in me and the 3 things that I did to reclaim my power. Of course, I'm also going to share 3 important lessons that will help me avoid these problems in the future. So I do hope you will comment, like, and share so that others who might be suffering silently from their anxiety and self-doubt will know that they are not alone and maybe they'll benefit from my bad experience. So let's dig in. But first, here's the background. After a car accident and a minor brain injury, I'm fine now, the medical team insisted I get a business coach for support and guidance to relaunch myself in business after a very long time away. I explained to the people I was interviewing that I can build an IKEA bookshelf with the instructions. But if you drop me in the middle of Home Depot and tell me to collect the stuff and build a bookshelf, oh my gosh, I would be so lost. And the team I ended up hiring, well, let's just call them Bonnie and Clyde, promised me they would totally be guiding me to actions that would relaunch my business and I'd be starting to make sales by the end of 30 days. I was very excited. Now, when I told Bonnie that part of my plan was to redo my whole website to align it to my last accreditations, she told me that was their specialty, websites. So she took both my budgets, the one for business coaching and the website redo, and she offered to do both for a more cohesive experience than working with 2 different companies. You know, that made a lot of sense to me. Unfortunately, I found out quickly that I was not at IKEA, and this coaching program did not even exist. And for the first month, I was overwhelmed by their lack of clarity, and they pointed to my brain injury as probably being the problem. Now, besides making a bunch of decisions about my business without talking to me at all, when I would push back, Bonnie turned to be quite a bully. Now, I had been honest about the fact that I was still being evaluated at a brain trauma clinic and that they should talk to me if something seemed off. Now, Bonnie used this information to exploit me. I believed what they were saying, and I became concerned about my abilities moving forward. So for 6 weeks, we kept going over elevator pitches. I kept asking for the next step to get moving. After 6 different exercises of how to do an elevator pitch, I started wondering if they were using me as a guinea pig to create a new program for future clients. So my anxiety just got worse every day until I got some help. But once I started using the right strategies, I was able to stay calm and productive and finally move out of this toxic relationship. So if you're feeling anxious, here are those 3 strategies you absolutely should be doing to move on and reduce anxiety. First of all, talk to others about what is happening. Like, seriously, do not keep this stuff to yourself. If you're feeling confused and overwhelmed, maybe, like me, you're being gaslighted. And if you're being played, you won't know until you open up to someone else who's unbiased about what's going on. Now, in my case, it was actually the doctors that clearly identified that the things she was saying to me about my memory being defective, my inability to understand or be organized, these were completely false. So don't be too proud to look for external validation. Even if you're an introvert, that's no excuse. So once you start to get other people's observations, the second strategy to reduce your anxiety is to step back from your emotions and review what can be salvaged in this situation. So a month in, after conversations about the lack of content with Clyde, we started over again. And then after that do-over, we went right back into, elevator pitches. It became excessively clear that the coaching was not going to happen. But the website, well, that's something I could salvage. It's a concrete thing I could insist on. So I became committed to being able to leave as soon as I got that website, which brings us to strategy number 3. This is the hardest one. You have to practice radical acceptance. First, I had to be really honest and call what had happened to me what it was. When a speaking colleague said, "Hey, you've been conned," that was really hard to admit and to accept. I needed to embrace what could still happen and let go of the rest. Otherwise, that dishonest person is living rent-free in our heads. Okay, so once I was feeling more in control and I focused on the website exclusively, let me tell you the 3 lessons I learned. Number 1, unless they come with a guarantee or you can really vet them somehow, pay in installments and break down the value and the outline of each segment if you're doing more than one thing. So I paid up front for the whole 3-month coaching program, which I now realize didn't exist. With a breakdown of services, I might have figured out a way to cut my losses and even leave this toxic relationship sooner and get someone else to do the website. But they were together. Number 2, the second lesson to protect yourself. Contact the people who had given them testimonials, like on their website or LinkedIn profile or Facebook page or whatever. Because let me tell you what happened to make this point even further. Once they had told me what they needed to complete the website and I sent it all, Bonnie responded by sending me an email telling me to stop, reflect, and celebrate, and let her know how this process and working with them had helped my business. Then I replied it was too soon to celebrate anything and that I was looking forward to the finished website. It was at this point that she got mad at me again. She told me to do what I was told and that they will look at the website after I send an email about the benefits of working with them. Now, I'd remained professional and quite agreeable to salvage what I could, but I was not going to write a fake testimonial to get my website. Instead, I wrote an email. I let her know that holding my website hostage for a testimonial is not cool. Well, let's just say her diatribes and attacks after that, well, they're just sad. So after her coercive attempts to get a testimonial out of me, I wondered what others would have said if I had reached out directly. So next time, I will be reaching out to people unexpectedly. Which brings us to lesson number 3. Have a more robust agreement and ask for alterations until we love it. Clarity in the agreement and well laid out points protect us both. And here's a concrete example of what can happen if it's just a verbal agreement. I have always gotten recordings of coaching calls. Never been a problem before. She said she would record our calls on Zoom and then send them to me. Now, when Bonnie was particularly disrespectful or Clyde was particularly lost and unable to answer simple questions, suddenly, hey, the recording didn't work. By the second month, I started recording the audio on my phone while on Zoom. For one scheduled Zoom call with Clyde, Bonnie phoned me instead, and then she just yelled at me. We need recordings of bad behavior. All this to say, I'm fine now. And I'm so grateful to my former website designer who, even though she's incredibly busy, has taken over this project. About 75% of it was done. It's not mobile friendly. There's weird stuff. But she's carving up some time just to get it out there for me. Should be live in about 2 weeks. I am so grateful to her. And once I started being honest about what had happened to me, I got so much love and support. I shouldn't have kept it to myself for so long. So I do hope that if things are rough right now for you, that you can also find what can be salvaged and learn to be radically accepting to move forward. Now it's your turn. What about you? Have you been conned? What did you do to get over it? I would love to know. And I am going to get more active here now. So if you have any questions about what to do with a difficult person, let me know. I'd be happy to give you my take on it. Now, go and make it a great day, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.